Hello Whiskey Wolves, welcome to Whiskey Whistle. I'm your host Mark and this is Whiskey Review number 116, take number 3. Yes, that's take number 3. Oh well, today we're looking at some basic Scotch whiskies and I've dubbed this the Whiskey Whistle Basic Scotch Roundup. Alright, so we've got 10 basic Scotches. I'm not sure if this has been done before, having 10 of these basic blended Scotch whiskies on one table being compared and talked about at the same time. I hope this is the first, but you never know. All right, so what are we going to do? We're going to taste them. We're going to lay them out in terms of how they taste. From over here will be not smoky to very smoky for blends. Of course, blends are not as smoky as some of the, let's say the Isla single malts. And then towards me, over on this end, will be not sweet. And then towards you, towards the front here, will be sweet, very sweet, okay? So if something is sweet and smoky, it'll be up in this front corner. And if it happens to be not so sweet and not so smoky, then it'll towards the back corner over here, okay? Sweet and smoky. Neither sweet nor smoky back over here. All right. Now I've already poured them, and this is my third take, as I mentioned. I may actually put these together, so there may be some repetition, but otherwise there will be a separate video showing the pouring of these beauties, so that you can rest assured that what's in the glass is what is here. Okay? All right, anyway, so we're going to get them off the table and leave the glasses behind. Where are the glasses? They're towards me over here. I think you can't really see them just yet, okay? So J&B Rare from Diageo. That's one of the ones we're tasting. White Horse, also from Diageo. Famous for containing Lagavulin. Which one is this called again? I forget the name of this one. Oh, right. It's Johnnie Walker Red Label. From Edrington, the famous grouse. This is, well, it should contain a lot of Macallan and Highland Park. Next is Teachers from Beam Suntory. This one has a lot of both peated and unpeated Ardmore in the mix there. I believe it's Ardmore. It's not Ardbeg, that's for sure. Okay, and then we have Doers from Bacardi. That's a Bacardi owned brand. And we also have some miniatures because I couldn't find bigger packages of these. Grant's Family Reserve. Okay, that's from William Grant and Sons. Ballantine's Finest. This is from Pernod Ricard. Sir Edwards. Well, this is a wild card. This is a French company that imports this and bottles it. It's made in Scotland. It is definitely a Scotch whiskey. Okay, so it's Sir Edwards. And then finally, similarly, a Korean company, Lotte Chilsung, made a contract with a company called Angus Dundee. And they made the Scotch Blue for Lotte Chilsung. Okay, so it's Scotch Blue. This is their pocket, which I believe is simply a smaller size version of their Scotch Blue International, but it may be slightly different, but to my nose, it's relatively similar. Okay, let's get those off the table and let the tasting and smelling commence. They're all labeled, okay? So that's Grant's and J&B, Doers, Johnnie Walker Red, Teachers, Ballantine's Finest, White Horse, the famous grouse, Scotch Blue Pocket, and Sir Edwards. And as I mentioned, this is the third take, so some of them have definitely a lot of what can I say, beading going on in the glass. Others, not so much, so that's interesting. Okay, let's get on with it. We're going to taste them. We'll talk about them. We're going to rank them again from not smoky to very smoky, not sweet to very sweet. Okay? We'll have a short advertisement right here. Welcome back. Let's start with Grant's Family Reserve. Not very much peat. Yes, very mild peat, quite sweet, quite honeyed. Both green fruits and some red fruits in there. Just a waft of smoke coming through on the palate. All right, so quite sweet, a little bit smoky. We'll set it up there. Next up is J&B Rare. Right away, you notice more peat on the nose. And yet still quite appley. Lots of apple. A little bit of honey, not much though. A good waft of smoke on the finish, but very similar. Slightly more smoky, so we'll put it right there. Now we have Doers White Label. All right, a fair bit of smoke on the nose, still quite sweet. Cheers all. Yeah, sweeter than both of these. Not quite as peated as J&B. All right, next is Johnnie Walker Red, which I bought just for this. Well, it's interesting. It's sweet, lots of umami flavors going on there. Grilled meats and so on. Not a whole lot of smoke, so we're going to set that right about here. What's next? Teachers. Let's see what's going on here with Teacher's Highland Cream. Pretty sweet nose. But what I find is, when you taste it, you keep it in your mouth for a while. You will get a burst of peaty smoke going on. So it's also quite sweet, so it's going to go up here. Okay, next row. Sir Edwards from France. It's quite floral, pretty herbal also. Slange. Cheers. Lots of raisins, some coffee, some umami as well. Not very smoky, so we're going to put it right about there. Very, very interesting, unusual whiskey, this Sir Edwards. All right, Scotch Blue Pocket for the Korean crowd here. What can I say? 안녕하세요. 지금 보고 있으니까 감사합니다. Thank you for watching. So what are we doing, by the way, for my Korean crowd, which is not that big, but there's enough people there. It's about number 4 or 5 in terms of countries, ranked 4th for my channel. 우리는 스카치 블루 포켓 다른 위스키 중에 비교 어떤지 그리고 어떤 거 더 맛있는지 확인하고 we'll check how the Scotch Blue compares with international brands, and also we want to see which one is different because of some sort of a unique characteristic. So 특징도 어떤지 확인하고 we'll check what kinds of characteristics, as I mentioned. Okay, Scotch Blue Pocket. Perhaps the sweetest of all, and also one of the least smoky anyway. All right, how about Famous Grouse? I smell a lot of red fruits from the Edrington single malt brands, Highland Park and Macallan. I think more Highland Park than Macallan as far as my nose goes. Cheers. Towards the end, you get a nice little waft of smoke. So I'm going to place that right about here. Quite sweet. A little bit of smoke. I can still taste it. Maybe we'll move it over a little bit there. Now we have White Horse from Diageo, which is said to contain a fair amount of Lagavulin. And honestly, it smells quite old. Cheers all. When you hang on to it in your mouth for a while, you will notice the peat. And I'm going to put that over here next to Teachers. Okay, last but not least is Ballantine's Finest. Hint of smoke, old books, a little bit of leather and polished wood. Cheers. Well, Ballantine's, about as smoky as the famous, as White Horse, I should say. Maybe a little bit sweeter. Okay, so this is the spread here now. Not very peated, not very smoky, not very sweet, and that is Sir Edward's. It's herbal and very agreeable. Okay, and I'm going to put the sticker on the bottom. I'll tell you why in a minute. Johnnie Walker Red. I can see why this is a good seller, because it's pretty well balanced between the sweet and the smoke. This is Grant's Family Reserve and Scotch Blue Pocket, J&B Rare, Doers White Label, the famous Grouse, White Horse, Ballantine's Finest, and Teacher's Highland Cream. There we go. Now I'm going to mix them up and we'll see how I do with figuring out which is which and talking about the smokiness of these. There, it's all mixed up. Okay, let's check it out. Sweet. Not a whole lot going on there. Quite soft. Is this Grant's? Yes, it is. Grant's Family Reserve. Okay. A little bit more peat. The peat comes through there. Well, I'm going to guess. Should I guess? I'm going to guess that this is This is Scotch Blue. Oh, it's a White Horse. Oh, utter fail. White Horse. Right, I can feel the peat now. This is another very mild one. But the peat develops. So, I just can't guess. Famous Grouse? Famous Grouse it is. Okay. Ooh, Petey. By the way, my dad's name is Pete. So you can say, hello, Petey. Oof. I believe this is Teacher's. Yes, it is. Oh, that's unusual. What do we have here? This has to be Ballantine's Finest. Yes, it is. It really does taste a lot like some really old whiskeys have been added. It's leathery, it's old bookish. That's the Ballantine's finest. This one is almost nothing to it. Herbal, not peated. This is Sir Edward's. Yes, I'm doing pretty well. What do we have here now? I think this one is Johnnie Walker Red. Yes, it is. Now, I swear to you, I cannot see what's on the bottom, and I'm not paying attention to what the glass looks like, because some of them are different. A little bit of peat there. My last little pour of water here. By the way, do you recognize the glass? That was in a Johnnie Walker gift set together with the 12-year-old. Is this J&B? No, it's Doers. Fail. I failed there. A little bit smoky, a little bit sweet. Last but not least, oh, this is the Ballantine's. Up there. Okay, so if you want something that is peated and yet sweet, you're going to want to go for Teachers. That's first of all, with a runner-up given to White Horse. And if you want something less sweet than that, and yet still peated, the Ballantine's Finest is interesting. Now, if you don't like the peated flavors, if you don't like smoky flavors, then I think Grant's, which I think is this one, no, J&B Rare. Grant's, yes. Grant's is very interesting. Okay, and so is Famous Grouse. Doers White, yeah, it's okay. Johnnie Walker Red. Which one is this one? Johnnie Walker Red, right. Okay. Alright, so that's it. Peated and yet sweet. Teachers Highland Cream. And I believe the new version is even maybe more peatier than this. Peated and not so sweet, and that's going to be the Ballantine's Finest. Sweet and not peated will be the Grant's Family Reserve. And lastly, over here, that's Sir Edward's. I'm not sure who would drink this neat. It's decent. It's well made enough. And yeah, I think we're done. And this one is Valentine's up over here. So that's been the review for today, the basic Scotch roundup. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you click the link down in the corner right over here. And I apologize if I'm speaking a little bit slowly because this is my third take. So probably I have had about four or five glasses of whiskey already. And you take into account how much I've had, okay? So thanks again, and tune in next time, number 117. That's going to be something interesting. We'll see you very soon. Goodbye.